Hey traders, John Howell here. Today I want to be looking at the stock market when it comes to the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones in general. I'm also going to be looking at sharing with you exactly where I believe we're likely to go to by the end of this year when it comes to the stock market, and why I see that from a technical point of view and also a fundamental point of view of exactly where I believe we're likely to go by the end of this year. I'm also going to share with you the boom and bust cycle that's happening with crypto right now, and what's developing. There's a pretty powerful pattern that's developing, and it may not be good on the short term for Bitcoin at least. So I'm going to share that with you as well, and also I'm going to share with you my number one stock, or the one stock that I got into last week that I believe has huge upside potential coming in over the next 6 months. So let's get straight into it. Don't place a trade based on what you're seeing in this video, because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. So I get a lot of questions about what sort of trading system do I use, and how do I trade the markets when I come across all the markets. So I've actually just put up a brand new training walking through all the details to my number one most powerful system for the last 16 years. If you go to johnslivetraining.com, or there should be a link in the description, or if there's not, go to johnslivetraining.com and you can register for my next free training and you'll see all the details. Go to johnslivetraining.com. Alrighty traders, so let's get straight into it. Now looking at the Dow Jones, as we know, there's on a fundamental level, we have never been in the situation that we are right now, with trillions of dollars being pumped into the economy as we speak. And guess what? They're not going to stop. We know that, right? They're not going to stop. They're going to continue going bam, 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 bam into the market. We know that right now the interest rates are zero, and who knows, we may even go negative. So there's a massive amount, and obviously the Fed is continuing to do their bond purchasing, which is keeping interest rates even lower. And you can see that's actually putting a massive floor underneath these markets. And one thing that when we're looking at the boom and bust cycles of every market, one thing you'll notice over time and over history, over the last 16 years, I've noticed that a crash is always followed by a boom, right? A crash is always followed by a bubble. You generally don't get a big crash if there's not a bubble. So right now, as you look at stocks like even like AMC, right? AMC had a big boom, and now we're actually just rolling over. You think, look at like even like GameStop. We saw GameStop last year as well too. Big boom and then big bust, right? And now it's actually not doing much as well too. So the whole thing about is what we're looking at here is that we're looking at the Dow Jones, and as you can see, we're not really in big vertical, big bubble territory right now, right? We're just sort of been flatlined for a few months here, and so we're not really in bubble territory. But with the fundamentals of what's happening right now underneath these markets, and what we're seeing right now when it comes to 0% interest rates, and when it comes to the amount of money being pushed in these markets, and they're still going to go. They're going to go. The lockdowns are going to keep happening. By the way, guys, I am just so ticked off of this stuff that's going on right now, all right? I'm here in Australia, and right now they've completely gone, I mean, especially in Sydney, right? They've gone through a whole complete lockdown. I can't believe that's absolutely just crazy right now. You know, we've gone for a whole complete lockdown because there's 33 cases, and only maybe 10% of those actually have any symptoms. And by the way, the death rate is 0. It's like, come on now. What a blind freaking joke. Anyway, so that's my rant, right? Back to the markets. So we can see what's happening right now on the Dow Jones. We've been flatlining for quite some time now, and the Dow Jones. So with everything that's happening right now, we are in the midst of one of the greatest booms that's still coming in history, and I believe we're just starting that as well when it comes to like the Dow Jones, the S&P 500, and even the Nasdaq, right? The Nasdaq is just starting to break out as well too, and I believe there's going to be a parabolic move, right? We have such an energy field underneath these markets right now to not have a finale of this bull market. There will be a finale of just one hell of a bull run. And so, like for me personally, guys, I have a lot of stock. I have some stocks in my portfolio that is simply just buy and hold, at least for the next 6 months, right? From now through the end of the year, I see massive boom, and so therefore I have a portfolio. Not every stock, by the way. So be smart about the way that you're doing. You can't just pick any stock, but there's stocks out there that are truly really, really good. And I'm going to share one of those stocks with you that I got into last week. And if you've been watching me last week, you probably know what that is. But anyway, I'm going to talk about that and what is happening there. But the whole thing about this, guys, is that we are seeing a big breakout, and there will be a finale, right? There will be one massive blow off top, and I don't believe we actually had the blow off top yet, and that's going to be followed by one of the greatest crashes. But while the blow off top is happening, let's play ball with this thing, because we have never seen ever in history the mix of interest rates and stimulus. And on top of all that, the amount of savings and the amount of liquidity that's still on the sidelines that's going to come into the markets in this third and fourth quarter is absolutely amazing. And so, guys, one of the best things we can do for our portfolios, right, is just to buy and hold some stocks. Now, not any stock out there. But looking at the Nasdaq, I can see the Nasdaq was in a very, very nice sort of tight triangle pattern. As you can see, we're really tight triangle pattern, and we have just broken out. But with the Nasdaq, I see the Nasdaq, I have a target of the Nasdaq all the way up here at 17,000 by the end of this year. So again, call me crazy, I know, but that's my target, and that's where I see things going by the end of this year. And so if you think about it, if the Nasdaq's going to do that, if the Nasdaq is likely to rise? So from where it is right now to where my target is, which is 15% higher. What is that likely to equate in percentage term in some stocks out there? Something to think about, right? Because if the Nasdaq's going to do 15%, who knows? It could be 30, 40, 50% return growth in some of these other in the actual individual stocks in the Nasdaq. Again, not all stocks, so you just need to be smart about the way that you choose things. But that's what I see happening with there when it comes to the good old Nasdaq. Moving over now through to the S&P 500. And once again, guys, we can see here that we've started a little upward movement here. But I have a target for the S&P of a conservative target, that is, of 5,000. Now, if this thing starts to get way crazy, then I have an ultimate target of 5,400. I know that's absolutely insane, but a 15% rise, and I use the 15% number just like the Nasdaq, 15% move up. Well, it was actually 20% before, but now it's actually 15% because the market's already moved from a 20% move, from a 20% original target. So 15% on the Nasdaq, I just equate the same number there. And also, it's a lovely round number. And as you know, the market loves these round numbers here, just really loves it. So anyway, that's my target there when it comes to the S&P 500. And when it comes to the, and also we could end up there, which is, again, another 20+% rise to the 5,400 target. But again, on a conservative basis, I have a target of 5,000 coming to the end of this year. I know that's absolutely crazy, guys, but that's just what I'm seeing. And so, guys, it's so important that more than ever that we actually keep an eye on the big movements, the big sort of markets that's actually going on there, and what's happening through there. And before I actually get into the Bitcoin sort of stuff, guys, let me actually just share that one stock with you that I got into last week, and that is, drumroll, Amazon. I got into Amazon last week because Amazon is one of the top dogs in the Nasdaq, but not only one of the top dogs in the Nasdaq, but look what Amazon did. Amazon did absolutely nothing for 12 months, and now we're just starting to break out. So on a conservative target based on this sort of pattern through here, on a conservative basis, I have a target of around 4,100. Now that's a conservative target, guys. Okay, that's not the end of year target. That's actually just a short-term target. Now when it comes to by the end of this year, Nasdaq could actually probably even double that. The Amazon could even double that. That there is a 10% rise. If we looked at say a 20% rise, we're looking at here 4,000, and even we could probably even get a lot higher. Again, looking at Amazon, Amazon's one of the top dogs, right? And so that's one of the stocks that I really like when it comes to Amazon. I'm still in stocks like Microsoft. I got into Microsoft, earlier in the year, and that's why I have a target there on Microsoft, Adobe as well too. I've been in Adobe ever since we got the breakout, and so on and so forth, because this is just my portfolio that I got going, guys. And tech stocks for me are just absolutely just going crazy, and things are doing really well. Once again, because I do see that the Nasdaq's not going to get up there. So if the Nasdaq does hit my target by the end of this year, 17,000, where are Amazon, Adobe, Microsoft likely to be by the time that happens? Pretty crazy moves, I know, guys, but that's the reason why you know, guys, being a bumblebee, being like getting in, getting out, getting out, is probably not a really good idea right now. Holding some stocks is the best idea. That being said, obviously with that link in description, you can see my trading system, the thing that I do for active income, what I call the cash generator trades, where I'm getting in, getting out pretty quickly, and then I have these other type of trades that are going to generate sort of really good sort of wealth for me throughout the rest of the 6 months. So that's what I'm seeing through there, guys. Let's go look at Bitcoin right now and share the actual chart with you, because things are actually not looking pretty good when it comes to the good old Bitcoin. And right now, let's actually do this here, take that off. All right, so now we're looking at Bitcoin here. Let me actually take this off the screen here. Look what's happening here on Bitcoin. Bitcoin's actually developing some sort of a bear flag, and this is actually looking quite weak. And what you don't want to see when it comes to Bitcoin is you don't want to see, right now we had a big move down, and then look at all this sideways phase through here. It's really just not really much going on, right? You got this 52 moving average trending down. So what you don't want to see is you don't want to see something like this, right? You don't want to see something like that. If we get something like that, like a strong bar breakdown like that, something like that, then we could have at least the move down to the 20,000 level. It could be 20,000, or it could be a lot more. If I look at my weekly charts when it comes to the support and resistance levels, let's go auto. We could head down to 20,000, and even if it does start to scare people out, then we could even get down to as low as, and I know this sounds crazy, guys, but I'm just looking at the support and resistance levels. Let's go back to the daily charts now. If we do get a strong bar breakdown, then a sort of a short-term move, and I'll probably even short Bitcoin if that actually happens, because it's an amazing opportunity. We're probably likely to at least get down to 20,000. And if it starts to really freak people out and get a bit of a flash crash, you could see back down here towards the 14,000 level. I know that's not, you know, guys, I know that's not what people want to see, because if you are long Bitcoin, but guys, this is just a technical pattern. And one of the most important things that I have learned over the last 16 years of trading these markets is I need to always listen to the markets and not what I think, not what I hope, not what I fear. As you can see, when it comes to the stock market right now and everything like that, I'm just looking at the mechanism, the mechanics of what actually is creating this floor underneath these markets. And obviously, when they start to taper, when they start to slowly raise interest rates, it's going to put a dampening on the stock market. They haven't done that yet, so there is just continued movement to the upside. Crazy moves are coming. And when it comes to Bitcoin, Bitcoin is now in a downward trend for quite some time, guys. And again, this is just listening to the markets, and it's so important that we listen to the markets and not our egos and all these bumblebees all over YouTube, right? Because no one knows. I don't know what's going to happen, and neither do any of these bumblebees out there. I call them bumblebees because they're just right. They just buy Bitcoin no matter what. All right. And so you can see here we had a higher low, a higher low, a higher low, a higher low. Right. We had a beautiful upward trend, and then look what happened. We had lower high, and now we're in a downward trend. And until we break this lows, like we did here, right? Higher low, higher low, higher low. Look at this here, higher low, broken it, lower high. Now we're in a downward trend, and until we actually break these lows through until we actually stop making lower highs, we're in a downward trend, and the bears have it. We're in a downward trend. So trying to buy it right now would be very, very risky. For me personally, the much smarter opportunity, which I am actually looking to get into some crypto, and I'm waiting for the right time, is that I personally, guys, and waiting for crypto to turn around. I'm waiting for the market to tell me, right? Because when you're not smarter than the market, I'm not smarter than the markets. And that's the reason why my trading system, again, link in description, is so powerful, is because I just wait for the market to set up perfectly, and then boom, I hit it. I wait and wait and wait and wait, and then bam, I go hit it. Right? So until this market turns around, just like we did back here, until we stopped making higher lows, because that's an upward trend, right? High lows, until we stop doing that, the buyers have it. And then in a downward trend, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. Until we stop making these lower highs, the seller's in control. So buying it here, you may be right. And then guess what? You may even, and then it may flush down to 20,000. Or I would prefer not to try to pick a bottom here. I would say, you know what? Even if this is the bottom right now, let the market tell me. And what would I want to see? I'd want to see a new upward trend established. I'd want to see a rise, and then a pullback, and then a rise, and then actually start this upward trend. I'd rather be in here, which is probably going to give me an 80% probability of then seeing a move up, than get in here, which is probably going to give me probably even a 5% probability of it actually picking the bottom. Because just like the shorts in Bitcoin back here, As you can see, just like the shorts in Bitcoin back here, you can see how that that every time we go to a bit of a pullback, when people believed, oh, the top's in, the market's going to crash, and that's in, it's all over. I was like, no, guys, no, it's not. It's not. One of the most powerful things to actually trade is what's going on with the markets, right? And you can see here, no, higher lows. And every time you try to short the market and think the top's actually in, that's actually when things started to really, really unwind. But it wasn't until we had this lower high breaking the lows that we started this beautiful downward trend where we are right now. So there we go, guys. In conclusion, right now we have such a floor underneath these markets, and I see parabolic moves happening across the board right now through the next 6 months. And those who are just focusing and being in positions and being patient when it comes to individual stocks. I'm not going to tell you what individual stocks to get into because there's no guarantees of any positions of making money. I see one of the greatest booms in history, and generational wealth will be created. What I call FU money will be created for those who are just doing that, right? For me, my private clients, I know we're gonna be doing that because that's what I'm doing, and that's what my private clients are doing. And not only am I going to create FU money from the actual trades for the next 6 months, but with my trading system, we're going to be generating that FU income, all right? And also when it comes to Bitcoin right now, we could be getting ready for another drop down, guys. So for me personally, the trend has just started. The trend is still down right now, and trying to pick a bottom is like catching that falling knife. You may be right, but guess what? There's probably like a 95% chance you're going to catch that sharp end of the knife, and you're going to cut yourself as it slices back down again. So traders, I'm getting so many people saying they're having a hard time with their trading and they need help. So I've just created a brand new, what I call breakthrough masterclass. If you need a breakthrough in your trading right now, then this is it for you. Because if you're losing money and you're finding it hard to get ahead, then secret number one is for you, because you're going to learn the number one thing that took me from losing $250,000 to actually then make it income. What's that one thing you must know? And if you don't, you're probably going to keep going backwards like I did until I started applying that one thing. Secret number two is going to be all the details and steps to my number one most successful trading system that it works across any market and any time frame. And then also, secret number three is actually how to use an awesome scanning tool to scan 3,000 markets to find these amazing, powerful trades, and what allows it to give me the freedom and so on and so forth. So if you're struggling right now and you need that breakthrough, this brand new class is for you. So go to johnslivetraining.com, or there should be a link in the description. If not, go to johnslivetraining.com, register for my next brand new breakthrough masterclass, and you're going to absolutely love it. Go to that right now. Go to johnslivetraining.com.